Good morning, guys. Welcome to class. It's very, very early morning here in Europe, so we'll see who's joining us today. It's very, very early morning here. Okay, so we've got a few minutes. Is anyone there? Can anyone write? No one's watching just yet. Maybe it's too early. Maybe it's too early. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, today's class is going to be about. Okay, we have Paulino. Hello, Paulino. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Great, thanks.
Perfect. And where do you come from? I'm
originally from Argentina, but I live in Minnesota, United States.
Great. Okay, so you moved to America. Okay, that's quite interesting. Okay,
yeah,
okay, Lendit just wrote a message. Hi, nice to see you. Are you joining class? Please, someone, can you help me? Okay, Liz, how can I help you? Can you elaborate? Okay, she's writing, yeah. So in the class chat. Okay, let's make a start. If anyone, yeah, if you'd like. Okay, so it's just you, Paulino, so far. Did you manage to open the PowerPoint link? Yeah. So I attached a document to Verbally.
Yes.
Did you manage to open this?
Yes, I have.
Perfect. Okay, let's make a start with that in that case. Okay, so we're going to talk about language learning and things like this. So, how many languages do you speak, Paulino? Is that the correct pronunciation as well?
Paulino. Mm-hmm.
Paulino, perfect. How many languages do you speak?
Well, fluently Spanish and English.
Okay.
And I speak some French, some Esperanto, and some American Sign Language.
Okay, do some American Sign Language. What's the difference between American Sign Language and British Sign Language, I wonder, yeah? So, how did you learn this? How did you go about learning Sign Language?
I took classes in community college. Sign language is not universal. Every country has its own sign language.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
American Sign Language, it's used in the United States and Canada.
Okay.
And then if every country has its own sign language. Perfect.
Yeah. So I wonder if they need translators. Yeah. So interpreters. Yeah. Of the sign language, even between. Okay, that's quite interesting. Okay, we have Zahara. Nice to meet you, Zahara. Zahara, can you hear me? Zahara? Okay, we'll come back to you. Someone else has joined. Alan, how are you? Alan, can you hear me? Okay, maybe not. Okay, let's go back to you, Pauline. Okay, so we're talking about languages for those who've just joined. Yeah, so we're talking about language learning and how people have gone about learning languages and what languages people have learned to speak. Armando, okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Armando. Hello? Can no one hear me? Can no one hear me today? Okay, Paulino, you can hear me. You can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yep.
When people come in, their mic is muted by default, so they need to unmute their mic on the top right corner.
Okay, everyone heard this advice, yeah? Everyone heard this advice from Paulina. Okay, we have a full class now, so let's try again. Alan, can you hear me? Okay, no. Did you take Paulino's advice, yeah? Can you hear me, Alan?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect, nice to meet you. Where do you come from?
I'm from Honduras.
Honduras, okay.
Yes.
And what language do you speak there?
Well, I only speak Spanish and I'm trying to learn English.
Okay, it sounds like you already speak English, yeah? So you can say with confidence Spanish and English you speak. Okay, so, and please all correct me with the pronunciation of your names, yeah? So it may not be accurate. Andoni. Thank you. Where do you come from?
I'm from Mexico.
Great, okay. So you speak Spanish as well?
Yes, I speak Spanish, and I'm trying to speak English too.
Okay, and what do you need English for? Yeah, so this is what I'm going to ask you all guys as well. Why are you studying English? So, Anthony. Okay, why are you learning English?
I'm learning English because I wanna have a good job when I grow up.
Okay,
So
yes,
that's why I'm learning English.
Okay, so for job reasons and stuff. Okay, Armando, I recognize you. I don't know why. Armando, have I seen you before? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Is your microphone muted? Okay, let's come back to you. Okay, Carlos, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Perfect. And where are you from?
I'm from Guatemala.
Okay, and do you speak Spanish there as well?
Yes, I speak Spanish.
Okay, maybe it's convenient for you guys with the time zone, yeah? So lots of Spanish speakers and stuff today. That's interesting. Okay, and why are you learning English, Carlos?
Yeah, I'm learning. I'm interested in learn because I wanna travel and I wanna study too. These kind of things in general. I think it's really interested in, and in my country it's not common, but but people get these English classes since they're younger, but not in an efficient way like other countries. For that reason, I'm more interested now.
Okay, so you're saying that there are English classes available in your country, but you're saying they're not so efficient, yeah? So it's not the best way to study, you're saying. Okay, so that's quite interesting. Felix, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Nice to meet you. And where are you from?
Nice to meet you too. I'm from Mexico.
Okay, right, let's ask. Okay, any exceptions, yeah? Any other people to Spanish speakers? So, you're from Mexico?
Yes.
And do you speak any other languages?
Well, I'm practicing my English, and I'm start to learn in Japanese.
Wow, konnichiwa.
I'm sorry?
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa, genki desu ka?
Hi. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's my extent. Okay, so let's go to James. I've met you before.
Yes. Hello.
Okay.
Martin.
Okay. Nice to see you again. Can you remind everyone where you come from? Yeah. Well, I've met you. I don't know if anyone else has. Yeah. So.
I think Paulino has me in his class before. Yeah, I met Paulino before. I'm from Thailand, Bangkok.
You're from Bangkok. So do you guys see each other? Yeah. So in other classes, do you recognize anyone?
Yeah, he is my teacher. He is my Spanish teacher.
Great. Okay, that's quite interesting. So you're doing Spanish as well. Wow, very efficient. Okay, so Lendit, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Perfect. And where are you from? I can see a flag, yeah? So what is this
from
flag?
Mexico too.
Mexico, great, okay.
Too, yeah.
So we're going to compare Mexico experiences, yeah? I've never been to Mexico, but lots of people from Mexico, so we'll talk a lot about that today. Okay, and why are you learning English, Lendit?
I think it's important because, as you can see here, we are from all over the world and we all speak English, so it's a good way to communicate with people from other parts of the world.
Okay, but guys, you're all Spanish speakers, yeah? So Spanish is well, not all of you, okay? So apart from James, but Spanish is also a major language, yeah? So I think I heard somewhere that there's more native speakers of Spanish than English, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to Ria. Hello, Ria. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Okay, and where are you from?
I'm from India.
From?
India.
Oh, great. Okay, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Okay, and what's the time in India right now?
Now it's 10:40 a.m.
10:40 a.m.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, in the morning. Yeah, so it's still quite not too early actually. So that's okay. Okay, let's make a start. Did everyone manage to? I know Paulino managed to open the PowerPoint. Did everyone else manage to open the PowerPoint? Attached on Verbling, attached to the class. Everyone's got it? Okay, everyone. Okay, thank you, Lendit. Cheers. Okay, so if you open this, I already asked Paulino the first question, and I've asked you a little bit about this already. Does anyone speak any other language that maybe is completely different to their native language? So, So we've got Felix who speaks Japanese. Does anyone else speak an Asian language who's not Asian? Shall I turn the light off? Wait, 1 second. Someone said the light is bright. Is that better? We'll see if that's better. Okay, no one speaks, yeah? So James, of course, speaks Thai. James, do you speak any other Asian languages?
No.
Okay, yeah. So, but you speak English. Do you speak any other European languages apart from Spanish?
Sorry?
Do you speak any other European languages apart from Spanish?
No.
Okay, but I think that's quite impressive, yeah? So English and Spanish, that's quite good. Right, who speaks the most languages? So, how many languages do you speak, Alan?
I only speak 2 languages.
Only, but yeah, you know, this is the thing, yeah, because if you ask a native English speaker how many languages they speak, we're usually quite lazy learning languages, yeah. So I've learnt German, I speak German, but usually we're quite lazy, and usually if you can say hello, how are you in a language, you say you're fluent, you know, it's that kind of thing. So I think that's quite impressive. Okay, so Andoni, how many languages do you speak?
I speak Spanish, and I'm learning English, and I was learning French, but I gave up because I was learning English and French at the same time. So I want to learn English first, and then I want to learn French. But I only speak Spanish fluently.
Okay, English. Your English sounds quite fluent. Yeah, I mean, what does it mean to be fluent? I guess. Okay, so Armando. And you, yeah? So how many languages do you speak? Armando, can you hear me?
I speak only, I am trying to learn my, more or less, can you hear me?
Yep, yeah, I can hear you now, yep, sure.
I have problems with the signal, I don't know.
Can everyone else hear me? Carlos, can you hear me?
Okay.
You can hear me.
I am learning.
Okay, so how many languages? Perfect. How many languages do you speak, Armando? Okay, let's come back to you. Let's come back to you.
And I am trying to learn.
And English. And English. Okay, so Carlos, okay, how many languages do you speak?
Yes, I'm sad because I just speak 2 languages, Spanish and English.
Okay, so it's still good, yeah, so it's still impressive. And do you find, just out of interest, Carlos, do you find English difficult, yeah? For Spanish speakers, is it difficult, would you say?
I think to learn Spanish is more difficult than English, of course, because in Spanish we have many verbs. Any verb is different, but in English it's easier. It's almost the same in past or present. We just need an auxiliary, of course. Mm-hmm.
So the grammar you're saying is easier, I guess, in English and stuff. Yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure about Spanish. I haven't learned it yet, but okay. So Felix. Yeah. Okay. What about you?
Well, about what?
Okay. So how many languages do you speak? You speak English, Spanish?
Well, I speak English well, but not so well. But I'm trying. And I'm start to learn Japanese. I'm not a good speaker yet.
And how long have you been learning Japanese for?
Not too much, like 6 months.
So still quite. And how do you find it in comparison with English or Spanish? Yeah, so I guess.
No, it's very, very different. The English and the Spanish are some similar in some stuff. Well, I think all the Romantic languages are very similar. You know, the French, the German, the Spanish, of course, and the English are some similar in kind of stuff.
Similarities, yeah, there are some similarities.
Yes, and the Japanese is completely different. All the words are new for me, and even the no and yes are very different.
Yeah,
so it's very hard to learn that kind of
and
language.
That's the thing. So I guess for speakers of like European languages, so to say, yeah, I guess it's quite difficult to learn an Asian language. The thing is, I've heard a Japanese person say before McDonald's, yeah, and that's quite interesting. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, McDonald or something like that. Yeah, so it's it's a bit different. Have you heard this, James? I recommend asking a Japanese person how to say McDonald's. Yeah, so that's a bit different.
Yeah, they pronounce very different. I don't know. They speak. In fact, I've been speaking with Japanese people, and their English in English, and their pronunciation is very, very, very hard to understand. They say McDonald, Makurudonaru, something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So it's a bit different, yeah. But I can imagine the same, yeah. So the other way around. Okay, so James, you speak Thai and English. Any other languages that we don't know about?
I know a little bit of Korean, like, because I have like Korean friends a lot, so I forced to like learn Korean. Yeah. I was forced to, yeah, because like eventually when you are with people, you have to like learn their language, you know.
Okay, yeah, to get on well, and just
yeah,
and I guess it's quite a nice thing to do, yeah. If you've got foreign friends, to speak with them in that language, or try to at least. And Paulino, okay. So, any other languages that you speak? We talked at the beginning. Just remind the rest of the class.
Sure. English and Spanish. Spanish is my native language. English is my second language. I speak some French, Esperanto, and American Sign Language.
Okay, well, yeah, so it's quite impressive. Does anyone else, can you say speak sign language, yeah? What would the verb be?
Sign.
Sign, yeah, okay, that makes sense, yeah. Can anyone else sign, yeah? So can anyone else understand this language, sign language? And we were talking earlier I was talking earlier with Paulino. We were saying, of course, it depends on the country. So the sign language is different in every country. Does anyone else understand sign language? I'm taking that's a no. So Paulino, you're the odd one out, yeah, the exception. I think it's quite interesting. And Ria, okay. So do you speak Hindi or do you speak another Indian dialect, Indian language?
Yes, I speak Hindi, but Hindi is not my native language. Bengali is my native language. Right. And I'm also learning to speak English.
Okay, good. And the thing is, it's quite interesting in India, yeah? So that you have lots of different languages. So you have,
yes, in every state you will find a different language.
I have a friend from Kerala, and he speaks Malayalam, yeah? And it's very, very different, yeah?
Yeah, that is completely different from Hindi or Bengali.
So how do you communicate with each other, yeah? So,
it's a problem, you know, that's why nowadays we are, you know, focusing on learning English because actually if you know Hindi, then you will be able to communicate with people who are from northern India, but if you go to southern India, then the languages there are completely different, so you have to know English.
Okay, so he taught me some Malayalam, but I don't know if it's an official Malayalam or whatever, but so I wouldn't say. But yeah, it's very interesting. And how do you find it with English, yeah? So in India, English is an official language, isn't it? Yeah, so...
yes, in India, English and Hindi, these are official languages.
And how do you find it, yeah? So switching between the languages, is it difficult for you, or is it quite natural?
Actually, no. In India, there are many English medium schools. So if you study in English medium schools, then your English will be great. But I have studied in non-English medium schools, so I think that's why, you know, I'm not very fluent in English.
Okay, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think it sounds pretty good at the moment. But yeah, okay, it's fine. Okay, so do you think, guys? Next question. I'm gonna have this kind of like as an open floor thing, yeah. So anyone can answer. When you have an idea, just say your idea, and hopefully not too many people speak at once. Okay, so do you think it's necessary to speak other languages to get a job in your country? And what kind of jobs do you need to languages for? Yeah. So okay, so Felix.
Oh yeah, yes, of course, I think so. Well, at least in Mexico, there are a lot of companies too, and they, particularly French company, that they asking you if you speak English, and sometimes this is the kind of stuff that they make the decision to get a one guy or another one.
Yep.
So, well, I don't know.
It's
I
the
think
deciding factor, you can say. It's the deciding factor. They have two
this.
guys
All
or
right.
two girls or man and woman, whatever. One person has the same degree as the other person. So you're saying languages are like the deciding factor. Shall I write this down?
Deciding factor.
Deciding factor. The deciding factor. Sure.
Can you please write it? I don't.
Okay, so the deciding factor.
Yes, deciding factor. Thank you. I'm sorry.
When there's nothing to distinguish the two, because they're pretty much the same in terms of qualifications and experience, maybe languages are a deciding factor. But are there any jobs which you can do that don't require languages in your country, or the ability to prove that you have got another language? Felix, yeah. So, what jobs are language skills most useful in?
Much useful is in the war.
Yeah, work in your job.
In my country, well, the war I think is the English, of course. Well, in fact, I have the chance to go to Japan, and if I communicate with the people, it's because of the English, and that's all. It doesn't matter if you don't speak Japanese. If you can speak English, you can
so
communicate.
it's kind of like a common language, yeah, that you can use in most countries and things. Okay, so what do you think, James? Yeah, so James, I'm just going to read the messages in the meantime. Okay, Paulino said, "What's your definition of fluent, Martin?" Okay, that's quite interesting, yeah, because the ability to express yourself in any given situation, I would say, yeah. So to never stumble for the right word. However, that's difficult because you can be fluent in a language but not know every word. I'm fluent. I would like to say
native speakers stumble on their own words.
Yes. So the thing is, for example, if you talk to me about something really, really technical and specialized, I couldn't give you an answer. Yeah. So even though it's my native language, and you would hear when we speak, yeah, sometimes if you're thinking quite quickly, you will stumble over words even as a native speaker. I'm sure you do it in your own languages as well. But Paulina, what do you say? What's your definition of fluent?
Well, I ask you first.
You're mean. Okay, so no, I would say just the ability to be able
it's your topic. I ask you first. I'll give you mine later if you want.
Okay, I would say it's basically the ability to express yourself freely. Yeah, so to not be too restricted in terms of the words you can use, to have. I don't think there's a single definition, yeah, in my opinion. But what do other people think? I don't know, yeah. So it's subjective. Armando, what do you think? Yeah, what's the definition of fluent? Okay, if there's problems, and Andoni, yeah, what's your definition of fluent?
I think fluent is like you're speaking just right now. But
fluency.
I think fluency is when you can keep a conversation with a native speaker without problems. I think it is my definition of fluency.
Okay, so sustain a conversation. Yes, sustain. Keep a conversation going. Okay, what about Alan? What's your definition of fluent?
Well, I don't know.
Difficult one, yes. Okay,
Yes.
so for example, Andoni answered that question without hesitation. Yeah, the words came out. Is he a fluent speaker of English, do you think?
Yeah.
Alan? Okay, I can't hear you. People have been writing comments. It's funny when you don't remember a word in your native language, but you do in another one. Yeah, so that's quite interesting. That's happened to me a couple of times with German, just because, for example, I've seen words here. At the moment I'm in Germany, I've seen words here that I've never seen in the UK. And yeah, it sometimes does happen. Has this ever happened to you, Carlos?
Yes.
So, have you learnt a word in English that when you try to translate it in Spanish, maybe you have difficulty with this?
Yes, there's many words, but I prefer understand or try to learn that word in some specific context. I think it's
Okay.
It's a good way. No, not try to memorize or something. I try to do it in some story or something to remember this word.
Okay, so
That
to
function
give all
for
the
me.
words of context, yeah?
Yes.
To give all the words of context and things. Okay, so that's another thing. So what would you say, Paulino? Enlighten us, okay? What's your definition of fluent?
I'm not an expert. I'm a language teacher, but I'm not an expert. My personal opinion is that you're fluent when you have achieved a high level of language proficiency that allows you to operate normally in whatever tasks that you normally
need to carry out, yes?
Yeah, you need to carry out, or in your own environment. So let's say your work or traveling, you know, you might have some difficulties in some areas that are foreign to you, like very technical aspects or stuff like that. But
so it's just basically being able to use the language to get on, yeah, with your daily life. Yeah, it's not about knowing every single word. It's not about knowing every single subject. It's just being able to use the language in the way you need it, I guess. Okay, that's interesting. We've got some new people joining us. How do I pronounce your name? Three. Please correct me. Please correct
Three. Yes, you pronounce correctly my name. Three.
Wow. Okay. So where do you come from?
I'm from Vietnam.
Vietnam. Okay. So another speaker of an Asian language. What is it like for you to speak English? Yeah. So how difficult do you find it?
Yeah, it's very difficult because you know, when you learn another language, you have to start from zero. If you want to speak English fluently, you shouldn't translate from your language to English into English. So the first time when I learned English, I'm very difficult. It was very difficult to me.
Okay, difficult for you to get started, yeah, because maybe you're thinking in your native language, and that's also another interesting point, yeah. So when you guys speak in English, what goes through your head? Does Spanish go through your head, or can you completely think in the language you're speaking? So, Mira, I've seen you before.
Yes. Good morning, Martin.
Nice to see you again. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so we're talking about languages. Can you tell the rest of the class, I already know, but can you tell the rest of the class the languages you speak, yeah? So your native language and any other languages you speak.
Okay, my native language is Arabic. I'm Egyptian. In general, we educate English as a second language in our school. Maybe sometimes it's the first language. Anyway, English language allow me to identify other culture. This is
okay,
all.
yeah. You're saying learning English allows you to identify another culture or get familiar with another culture, or languages in general, would you say?
Excuse me again?
Okay, you said English allows you to get familiar with other cultures.
Yes.
Do you mean because of the language, or because you can, for example, like James said, you can go, or no, like Felix said, you can go to Japan and try speak with someone in English as a common language. Yeah, so for you, what's important when you're learning English? Yeah, so when learning a language, what's important to you? What do you need it for?
I need it for reading a lot of books about other culture. When I travel abroad, I need it more than in language to contact with other.
Okay, so to keep this contact and stuff. Does everyone like learning English? Yeah, because I guess from what you've said, you're doing it because out of necessity. Do you know what this means? Out of necessity. I'll write this down. So out of necessity, you're doing it because you need to. Some of you. Does anyone like learning English? Do you think? Yeah. So, or if you're made to learn English, for example, for your work, does this mean people start to resent learning English? So. Andoni, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, do you like learning English, or do you find it quite tiresome, yeah? So that you're doing it just for the job?
In fact, I am addicted, I think.
Wow.
It's a kind of addiction because when you learn more and more, you want to learn more and more, and that's something that when you get started, you can't stop doing it. It's something, and I want to learn a lot of languages as well as English, because I don't know, but I'm very interested in learning languages.
Okay, yeah. So you were saying you're addicted. I was tutoring a private student once, and it was quite awkward. The first time we met, I asked him this question. Okay, so why are you learning English? He said, "Martin, I hate English. I hate everything about English. I'm only here because my boss is paying me to do this. Okay, I don't want to speak to you really." I was like, okay. Yeah, if he's watching, hello. But yeah, okay. So lots of people. Well, I don't know if lots of people, but some people resent it, yeah, because they think, oh, why can't I just use my native language and things? But what's your opinion, Carlos? Yeah, so what do you think?
I guess it's about how people assimilate. If you really like for some conviction, for example, it's better no for if you need something functional, of course, but it's better if you wish something. In my case, I think in this moment I have not some opportunity immediately, but I'm trying to understand better. And study a little bit more because I'm interested in something in the future. I don't know why exactly, but I'm trying to do my best.
You're saying you're not just learning it to get by, yeah, just to get by. You're saying actually you see it as an opportunity, yeah. Speaking another language brings you opportunities and stuff. Okay, that's quite cool. And Felix, okay, so question: why Japanese?
Well, my girlfriend is Japanese.
Right. Okay. Actually, I didn't say, but my girlfriend's also Japanese. So yeah. Okay. But at the moment, I haven't started yet.
Well, in fact, anyway, the Japanese culture is very interesting. Anyway, and the languages too. You know, if you know how to speak Japanese, you can know a lot of things about the Japanese people. So. I think that is one of the interesting things to learn that the Japanese languages.
And it's very different, yeah. So the attitude is different, yeah. So they're very, very polite, and it is very, very different.
Exactly.
How have you found this? Yeah. So not about the language, but about the culture, adapting to the culture. Can I just ask, yeah? So in your countries, guys, is it normal when you take a bath to take a shower before you have a bath? Yeah, so the point in my understanding of having a bath is that's what makes you clean, yeah? But for some reason, whenever I go to take a bath, you know, I've got to take a shower, I've got to clean myself first, then go in the bath.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you had this experience, Felix? Felix, what's it like in your home country? So when you take a bath, for example, is that okay not to take a shower before you get in the bath?
Yeah, well, yes, the Japanese people make a bow for everything.
Yeah, okay. So it's quite good. Okay.
Yeah.
So to keep cleaning things. Okay, so Huyen, I still can't pronounce this quite correctly. Yeah, so Huyen, how do you say it again? Sorry.
Yeah, Huyen, you speak my name perfectly.
Perfect. Okay, so what about you? Okay, so. What do you think?
Think about what?
Okay, so is it necessary, yeah, for you to speak other language to get a job? And do you think, for example, are you learning English because you want to, or because you really you need to for your job or whatever? So do you have a passion for it?
I started with the demand for English, so I started to learn English because I had English classes at school. But you know, the more I learn English, the more I like it. So now I have passion for learning English.
Okay, so
it's not out of complication anymore.
First, to begin with, it was forced on you, yeah? So you do learn English at school, but then you develop it and stuff. Okay, so what's your opinion, Paolino, yeah? And then I'll ask, actually, Miro, we'll do it in order. Miro, okay, what do you think? So actually, I've asked you, I think. I think I've asked you. Okay, let's go to Paulino. Okay, Paulino, yeah? So you teach Spanish. Surely you are an ambassador for the Spanish language, okay? What do you think of English, and do you like learning English?
I love learning English. I actually started on my own when I was 6. I have 2 older sisters, so it started by just I wanted to be like them because they were studying at school and I couldn't go to the school, so I started with books and tapes on my own when I was 6 until I was older enough to go to this language school. But,
wow, so you self-study, self-study.
That's how I started, yeah.
Does it work, yeah? So can you really study by yourself, yeah? Because I've tried this with some languages and things.
If you have a strong intrinsic motivation, it is. If you're really motivated intrinsically, not, as you said, not because someone is making you, then you're just going to be motivated not only to learn it, but also to find the resources that are good for you to your style to learn it. So either finding a tutor, to find Berling, to find a software, whatever you feel. And some people have an easier time than others to find that the system that works for them.
Okay, and have you got any books on your bookshelf? Okay, learn Arabic in 3 months or anything like this, or any languages that you haven't started yet, but maybe you were thinking of starting them. Yes, did you hear? Yeah, Paulina. Sorry, yeah, I was talking to you.
Okay.
So do you, for example, on my bookshelf I have learn Russian in 3 months. Yeah, I've started with Russian and things, but yeah, it's getting a bit dusty. The book. Okay, what about you, Paulino?
No, I don't have any of those learning 3 months stuff like that because I am a language teacher and I know better.
Yeah, and it does.
I know that those books, you know, they have a place, but they don't really work that way. I have some references, book references for French and some Pictionaries. I like picture books, but nothing like learning 3 months and stuff like that.
In 3 months,
they don't work.
This is it's a very good sales strategy because people basically need to learn languages in a short amount of time. They don't want to spend too much time, and it's a very good marketing strategy, I think. Yeah, to say. Okay, Ria. Okay, what about you? So
yes, I like learning English, but I don't like the fact that you have to be fluent in English to get a job, especially in my country.
Okay, yeah.
So, you know, in my college, I see many students who come from villages and they didn't have any exposure of English language. So, even if they are very good in computer science subjects, they are not getting a job just because they are not very fluent in English. So I really don't like this fact. Yeah. If you want to get a good job, then especially in software industry in India, then you have to be fluent in English.
And I guess this is something we take for granted, yeah? So okay, in the UK, if you speak other languages, you could get a good job somewhere like in London, for example, with an international company, even if the business language is in English, yeah? Because, it's different, I guess. It's something that's unique on the CV. But to say it's the basic thing to get a job, I think, do you think this will change? So do you think, for example, in the future, it'll be enough to speak Hindi, yeah? Or how do you think it will be in the future? Because surely this cannot go on, yeah? So if people can't
I really
get jobs,
don't think so that it will change because, you know, in India, even if you have knowledge in your subjects and you are not very fluent in English, then you are not considered a very educated person, considered as a very educated person. So, if you do not have any knowledge in your subjects, but you are very fluent in English just because you studied in English medium schools, so you are considered as a very smart person.
So basically, the average English person or the average American person who's monolingual, if they were born in your country, monolingual, basically, yeah, and that's quite difficult. But what about in Spanish countries? Yeah, so are Spanish people monolingual? So would you say lots of Spanish people learn English, or do they not need to because Spanish is a very dominant language? Okay, so let's ask, Felix is gone. Let's ask, who wants to answer this actually? Let's leave it open. Paulino has an opinion, yeah? So
it depends. It depends on the job, and it depends on your family and the job. Like, for example, when I lived in Argentina, I used to be a public servant for my town, and I was studying English because I was always interested in other cultures, and I had ambitions of living abroad and traveling. But then I have my friends in my work who. Our work is to serve the people of our town. We're never going to be dealing with international like exports or anything like that, so they have no need at all to learn another language. And some of them had quite a negative sentiment towards English because of different reasons. You know, sometimes the Falkland Island or other or other types of invasions of American or other type of English culture.
We need to have a chat about this as well, yeah, because it's interesting. About this, yeah. So this is a very, very big conflict and stuff, and it's very, very tricky. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. Do Argentinians like British people, or do they do hate me? Please don't hate me, okay? It's not me. It's not me. It's the politicians. Do Argentinians have a negative view against British people because of this, do you think? Because I think there's a conflict between China and Japan, yeah, about a similar thing.
No, I don't. Right now, I don't think there's. Well, I don't live in Argentina, and actually, I haven't been following the recent news about the Falkland Islands and stuff like that. But at the first time of the conflict, there was a huge negative sentiment. All English music was banned from the radios and stuff like that. But then, I mean, then people understood that it was, there were other political situations that went to that. But then people understand that this is more of a between governments type of thing. But I don't have anything against British people.
It's a complicated issue as well because of the location. Yeah, so it's very, very close to Argentina. So yeah, it's a very, very difficult situation, I'd say. Yeah, but is this so in your countries and other people's countries? Yeah, so are there major conflicts between other countries, which means maybe this affects the amount of people that learn the language? Yeah. So, for example, Felix, have you heard from your girlfriend or from anything that there's a conflict between China and Japan? Have you heard about this?
Well, yes, I've been heard about it, but not too much. I only been hear about the Japanese invasion. I don't know how to say it in English. Invadieron, attack.
Attack. Okay.
Attack the Chinese people, and some Chinese doesn't like who call it Japanese or something. But not too much. My girlfriend say that it's an old history, and well, I think that's all.
Would this affect her decision, for example, if to learn Chinese? Yeah, so maybe not Yukov, but do you think, for example, conflicts affect people's affects language learning in some way? Yes. So if there's a future world war and everyone was going against UK or everyone was going against Australia, do you think everyone would suddenly stop speaking English?
I'm sorry, can you please repeat it?
Okay, so I was just going to say, in the future, if there was a major world war, which there hopefully won't be, and I don't know, yeah, people blamed UK, people blamed Australia, people blamed maybe an English-speaking country, do you think everyone would stop speaking these languages? Yeah, do you think it affects the languages we learn? Yeah, conflict.
Yes, of course. Well, in fact, one of the words in the Japanese, they are in English, you know, and the Japanese learn how to pronounce and how to they have to live because of the American influences, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
And they change this culture, and in the beginning, for example, in the beginning, they doesn't eat in the tables on the chair. They always in the floor. and because of this invasion, you know, the Second World
Ria,
War.
take care, Ria, take care. She just said bye, okay, so take care, Ria, bye-bye. Okay, sorry, continue. Ria left the group, yeah, she just wrote a message, I just said bye. Okay, sorry, yeah, so about the wars and things, yes? Karen.
Yes, of course, I think the influence is very big. It's amazing. When you start a war, and you know, and I don't know, I think you change your history and you change everything around you.
Okay, let's talk now about influence. Yeah, so you're all learning English. How much influence do English-speaking countries have on your culture? So, for example, I would say mainly America has the influence. Yeah, so America has a lot of American culture has a lot of influence in British culture. We watch the American TV shows and things like that. But even though we speak English as well and we have our own stuff, we watch a lot of American things and we're exposed to lots of American stuff. Carlos, yeah, how much influence do English-speaking countries like America have on your culture, and is your culture changing as a result?
Yes, I think in whole America, United States have a great influence. For example, if we are in our automobile, we can see signals in English like stop, for example, or
signs, I would say, yeah, signs. You can see signs.
Signs. Okay, signs like this, and in many of our language, we use constantly words like okay, for example, instead of está bien, and the culture, the American culture, has influence, like you said, through TV shows and
McDonald's, yeah, things like that. But the thing is, have you seen it? I was just thinking as you were speaking that, any funny examples of, for example, I don't know what it's like in your countries, but in Germany I've noticed it's kind of cool for lots of shops and things to advertise in English, to write in English. And I saw a very kind of funny mistake the other week. I was walking in, I went to the shopping centre and they were advertising, they wanted to sell rucksacks. Yeah, there was a sale on rucksacks. You know what a rucksack is, yeah? So like a bag that you wear on your back, yeah? A backpack. You know? Do you know what a rucksack is? Yeah, I'm in Germany at the moment, Paulina. Do you know what a rucksack is?
No, I'm sorry.
A rucksack is just a bag that you wear, not like this, but a bag that you wear on your back, yeah? So you have two straps like this.
Oh, yes, your bag.
That's, okay, and the German word is also the same, Rucksack, but there was a sign that said body bag, yeah? So body bag, sale, body bag. Because they thought, okay, well, let's use an English word. Actually, a body bag is the bag you put a dead body in. So things like this, there was a misunderstanding. Because they were trying to use maybe an English word, even though we say rucksack, and it didn't work. Yeah, it meant something else. Have you got any examples? Yeah, so have you seen these in your own countries, where because you're competent English speakers now, where you notice these kind of mistakes? Yeah, or is it not cool to use these kind of English words? What do you think, James? In Thailand, yeah. So what's it like in Thailand? Do you see many English words on shops and businesses? James, can you hear? Okay, let's try Mira. Okay, what about you in Egypt?
Maybe there is no mistake word in English. We speak in English as normal, but there are some bad words we find in movie. We can't speak in general in our speech, like when you angry about something, you find in movie
about
angry.
angry about something. When you're angry about something, to be angry, yeah. So you have anger.
Yes. We find a movie. They say, "Fuck you, shut you, shit." This is bad word for us to speak. So bad.
In Arabic, you're saying, yeah. So
yes,
they use
yes,
English
this is
as
bad
a way
word.
of. Okay, that's quite interesting. They use English as a way of.
But in general, the English is normal. The other words.
So it's not like, for example, you go to a shop and they will have on a sign like a, I don't know, a clothes shop sale, yeah, in English, or something like this. Because there's a lot of criticism here because they call it Denglish, Deutsch English. And I've talked to a lot of Germans about this, and they're saying, okay, it's actually quite annoying because they're saying they're losing their language a little bit and things. But what's your opinion? Yeah. So Felix. Oh, there's a new person. El Sadiq. Is that the correct pronunciation? We'll see in a minute. We'll see in a minute. Okay. So Felix, what is it in your experience? Yeah. Have you seen anything like this? So is there like a, I don't know, Spanglish or no, that would be the same. Yeah. Spanglish, like a mixture between Spanish and English.
Yes, there is Spanglish, but not necessarily a lot in Latin American countries. I think many Latin American countries would use English words here and there. You'll find more Spanglish in places like California, Texas, and the border.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah, so not so much in South America, but it does happen. And what's your experience been in America? Because, for example, I've only been to New York when I went to America. I only went for 5 days, and lots of businesses have Spanish speakers. Yeah, so lots of shops say, okay, here we speak Spanish. And is Spanish widespread in America? Yeah, because maybe it's more widespread than in the UK, for example. Yeah, so can you get by? For example, if you're a Spanish speaker, you can't speak English. Can you get by in America with Spanish? Paulino, for example.
I think so. Well, it depends on the region, and but in many places. I'm in Minnesota, where it's a long history of Swedish and Nordic people. The Hispanic population is rising here, all over United States. But it depends on your background. But I think so. There's a lot of support. Not that everything is bilingual, but there's more acceptance. And I know people who live here who don't speak English at all, and
they can get by. Yes, it's quite interesting. James, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect.
Now.
Okay, what's your opinion? Yeah, so is there a Tenglish? Yeah, I don't know what it'd be called, but
Thai. I do speak Tenglish sometimes.
Okay, give us an example. Yeah, so we can't speak Thai, but maybe we can understand what you're saying with the English words. Give us an example. Say a Thai sentence, a Tenglish sentence.
Tenglish sentence. Like, you จะไปที่นี่หรือเปล่า? It's like, are you going? Like, you use like you instead of like the word kun.
Okay, so you use some words, yeah, but for here, for example, business, I guess, yeah, they talk a lot like marketing, that's marketing, or things like that, yeah. So it's a lot of business words maybe are used in and things to do with IT. But what would you say? Who else has joined us? Helen, I know you, Helen. Nice to meet you again. Nice to see you. Helen. Okay, it's not working, Helen. Have you tested your microphone? Okay, yeah, we'll come back to her. I know her, yeah, so I spoke to her a while ago. Okay, so, yeah, okay, that's quite interesting. Okay, let's go through the slides. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there with the natural conversation things. But do you know any polyglots, yeah? So do you know anyone, do you have any friends or contacts who really speak a hell of a lot of languages? Maybe 5, 6 plus. More than 5 languages at least, yeah? So, Carlos, do you know any polyglots? A polyglot, just to clarify, someone who speaks many languages.
I know them. I know some of my friends.
James, tell me about them.
Polyglots?
They are like genius, you know. They study like every subject, and like, you know, they learn like 5 different languages, and they are crazy. And they are super duper genius. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. But do you think it's possible to get a good ability in all those languages? So, for example, you're saying that you have friends who speak 5+ languages. Are they competent? Because lots of people advertise, I don't know if you see on YouTube, oh, I speak 10 languages, oh, I speak 20 languages, or whatever. Is it possible, do you think? I'll ask Paulino this question because you're a language teacher and also, yeah, you speak several languages. Is it possible to get to a good level of competence if you speak several languages?
Yes, it is.
Simple answer, yeah? Yes.
Yes, it is. Is it possible? Yes, no question. Yes, it is. And I even answer with a full sentence instead of just yes. But it all depends on your determination and your discipline, because studying multiple languages requires a lot of discipline, because you have to be constantly practicing them all. You know, a language that you don't practice, then it goes away. So the more language you incorporate, then you have to make that time to practice them all. But it is possible.
Felix, when will you become fluent? Yep, sorry.
I think for me, language, if we don't practice it or use it every day, we will eventually forget the word. Like some word that I didn't use for a long time, even Thai words, sometimes I have to think like hard before I speak. Like I know it in my head, but like I don't know the word. You get what I mean?
It happens with me, yeah. So it happens, I think, with most native speakers. You just, oh, what's the word? What's the word? What's the word? Then someone says, you say thank you. So it happens. I think it's perfectly natural to stumble over words and to forget words and things. But Felix, when will you become fluent in Japanese? Yeah. Do you think it's possible to be fluent, to become fluent?
Oh, I don't know.
Headache, yeah, headache.
Well, yes, of course. If you can try it and you can work very hard for speak very fluently. But of course, I think it's very difficult to speak like a native, you know, because at least if you grow up, listen all day and speaking all day new languages, you know. For example, my girlfriend, she can speak English. I mean, she can speak Japanese and she can speak Spanish, and she speaks both very, very good and very fluency. Because
fluently, yeah.
Yes, very fluent. Because her father is Japanese and her mother is from Peru. So I think
bilingual,
she, yes, I think she grow up listen these both languages. So it's very easy for her. It's easier for her.
That's the thing, yeah. So bilingual people, how jealous are we of bilingual people? Yeah, people who just find it so easy because they've been brought up in this kind of, two languages spoken. And we've got two new members. So Essa, okay, you've got a British flag. You're not British, are you? Essa, can you hear me? I was going to say, Essa. Okay, maybe not. I was going to say,
Martin?
Yep.
Could I have a quick comment about something that I heard from Felix, kind of going back to the idea of being fluent?
Yes.
Being fluent, generally, in the language learning, we don't refer to being fluent as speaking as a native speaker, but being understood by a native speaker, which is quite different than to speak as a native speaker. If you're not a native speaker of the language, you will not be a native speaker. You will not speak as a native speaker. But to be fluent is to be able to be understood by a native speaker or a non-native speaker too.
And it links to the idea, for example, accent. Yeah. One thing with Protestants or whatever, I always advise them is don't worry too much about the accent. As long as you're very clear, as long as you speak, with intelligence. The accent is not for me a problem. I don't think. Because of course you're never going to sound completely like a British person or completely like an American person. And some people really, really try to replicate the accent completely. And sometimes it doesn't work too much, yeah? So what's your opinion on this, yeah? So Mira, okay, so what's your opinion on the accents? How important is it for you to master an English accent when you speak English?
Yes, at the first, when I'm teaching English, I don't have any courses, so I go to radio, to hear, to listen to the news in Arabic, and then open Voice of America or BBC in English and listen it. And try to join the news here and there. Then catches the accent from it. When I attend the courses for Paulino, as he said, the accent, when we should learn English or any language by understood the word. He act the word, understanding the word. Paulino acting the word. So I can understand understanding the word by acting, not before the accent.
Okay, so body language, I guess, is quite important, yeah? So to be able to see the face.
My sister have.
Guys, I must go now. I've just realised the time, yeah? So, okay, let's continue. I'm going to have a class next time, okay? So if any of you, just now, so if any of you are there, it'll be good to see you. So I've got to go really quickly. Sorry. Take care, guys. Ahmed, I didn't speak to you, but hopefully I'll speak to you soon. See you later, guys.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. We were waiting you.
Cheers.
Okay, bye.